This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Besile Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Besile Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote, and today's quote is, "The invention of the printing press was one of the most important events in human history." And that is from He Ju Shang. With us today in the studio, we have someone who has made printing his business, helping several businesses get their name out and promote themselves. His name is Tim McCarthy. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Besile. Thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Let me guess, your company is called SILVERADO Printing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Well, I was just reading your show.
Well, that's good. Thanks. I'm glad to be able to promote the business in that way, too. So thank you for having me today. It's a great opportunity.
My pleasure. How do you start your printing business?
I started the printing business. I've been in the printing industry for 15 years now, and have worked for several other printing companies along the way, but decided in January to start my own printing company, Silverado Printing, yes, just this year in 2015.
Wow.
And the reason I started was because I was limited to the capabilities that those printers that I worked for previously had. Whatever capabilities they had, whatever printing presses they had was what I was limited to selling to. Now that I've started my own company, I've broadened my horizons and I'm able to sell anything from printing on paper to retractable banners to vehicle wraps on cars or trucks. And as far as printed material, anything from business cards to postcards to magazines to brochures and letterheads. So whatever the customer might need, we can help with that, whether even pens and mugs and shirts. So any type of printing that they might need to put their logo on. So what we really focus on and specialize in is helping companies promote their marketing efforts in a quality and cost-effective way.
Very good. Now tell me, 15 years, can you tell us a little bit about the evolution of printing in those 15 years?
It has changed quite a bit since I started in the industry. When I first started, I worked for an offset printing company that... You
want to explain offset?
Yeah, offset printing, as opposed to, was the type of press that the printed pieces are printed on. So it was just a paper printer, and they were a sheet-fed printer, which means as opposed to a web printer that has rolls of paper, this is a sheet-fed printer that has stacks of paper that one sheet at a time feeds through the press.
Got it.
And it was the way that the ink is transferred to the paper is through blankets and I'm drawing a blank on the word now, but
stencils.
The sheet metal the metal that gets transferred to the blanket and then onto the paper. So the industry has changed drastically, though, because when I first started 15 years ago, they used film to create these plates, is what the sheet metals are called plates. And in order to make the plates, they would use film, and they would it's a 4-color process, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And with those 4 colors, you can create any color you want to. So through that process, they would make 4 film that they would have to register and line up correctly to image the plate, and then from the plate they could transfer it onto the press and therefore get it onto the paper. So since then, there has been technology that was just coming along when I first started, and it's called direct-to-plate. So the imaging would go from the PDF or artwork file directly onto a plate, and they kind of eliminated the need for the film. Gotcha. And there was a lot of mistakes made in the film process if they didn't register and line it up properly. So this helped alleviate a lot of
mistakes,
issues with registration and trying to get the colors to line up exactly. Some other advances have been the use of digital presses.
What is digital press?
A digital press is when a file is used and it directly transfers to the press itself. It's more, I don't want to say a glorified copier, but it is more of that technology, and it is, there's no need for a plate.
Got it.
So therefore, it's much more conducive and cost effective for small run printing. Gotcha. So if you only wanted 100 brochures, the best place and most cost effective place to print it is on a digital press. On an offset press that requires plates, those are very expensive, and to do the make ready on a press is very expensive, typically an hour just to get the press up to the color that you want it to be. So therefore, it's expensive to do an offset press, generally used for higher quantities if you want to do, a few thousand of a brochure. But for customers who might only want to do 100 brochures, the digital press is a perfect way to go. Initially, when digital presses first came out, the quality wasn't as good as an offset press. And so you could often tell the difference. This was done on a digital press or this was done on an offset press. The technology in the last 10 years has gotten so much better that it's oftentimes very difficult to tell the difference between a digital piece and an offset printed piece. The quality is drastically changed.
Okay. Now, I have a wild question. Is there some printing being done in China? We all know most of things get done in China. What is I don't know about the industrial printing. How does that work? Do we have a lot of printing done in China? What machine? Somebody once was talking to me about the quality of the machine. Do you have any information on that?
Well, most of the printing that's being done there, to my knowledge, is promotional products, whether it be pens or mugs or things of that nature, that are done in mass quantities. But oftentimes their specifications are not the same as ours. They don't use inches, and so a lot of the printing that we have on paper is more regulated to the United States. Even printing in Europe is different because of the measurement sizes. They use different sizes than we do here. 8.5 by 11 is not a standard anywhere else in the world.
Interesting. What is the biggest challenge in your job?
Biggest challenge in my job, great question. It is finding time to get everything done. As a business owner, we're pulled in many directions, but it's creating the balance between operations and business development and doing all the accounting parts of the business and things of that nature. So time is something that's a resource that's very limited when you're a business owner, and I'm sure you're aware of that. So, but the as far as the work process, it's I wouldn't consider it challenging. I would consider it rewarding. And it's been a great experience as far as working with the suppliers and the partners that I work with.
Why did you get into printing business?
That's a darn good question. I for 15 years after I graduated college, I used to be in the delivery business, the local courier business, and helped grow a laser courier from a small infant company to a $20 million corporation. And just got burned out from 15 years of being in that industry and was looking for a change. And the printer that I first started working with was a customer of mine. And it was kind of a funny story. A delivery that he needed to come back from Silver Spring, Maryland was running extremely behind. And so he said, well, the least you can do while we wait for this package to get back is take me out for a drink. And one thing led to another, and before you know it, I was working with him at the printing company.
Wow.
So, it was a bad situation with a late delivery turned into a great opportunity. So.
Wow, very interesting. Now, you grace us with your presence at the Breakfast Club. You came to our Breakfast Club.
Absolutely.
Can you tell the audience over here your experience at the Breakfast Club?
Oh, it was a great opportunity, especially because the day I came to the Breakfast Club, there was an exhibitor training afterwards. And you were gracious enough to allow me to sponsor that opportunity and set up my exhibit and show them what a retractable banner looks like and what an exhibit table can look like. And so from that, it's given me a lot of opportunities to work with other people that were at the breakfast. So I appreciate that opportunity and that opening that door for me.
Very good. And now you at the first part we did the breakfast event. What is your impression? How do you like the first part of the breakfast event itself?
I've been to a lot of networking groups and been to a lot of different formats, but I really liked the way that it's almost speed networking because you get to talk to everyone in the room and learn a little bit about them. And obviously you can't learn enough in such a short period of time, but it opens doors and it lets you see what other businesses are out there and how you can help them and how you can refer potential prospects to them and how you can work with each other. So I thought it was an excellent opportunity to meet other people and to provide referrals to them of people that I know and help their businesses.
Very good, very good. Excellent. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, it was
and you'll also
great.
be exhibiting at the expo we have in less than a week now.
Yes, indeed,
So
and I'm really looking forward to that because you get so many people in the door at the expo, and it's another fantastic opportunity to promote Silverado printing and also meet people that I can help refer my contacts to.
Definitely. That's great. That's excellent. Now, let me ask you another question. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years?
Growing Silverado printing, and I'm very excited about the future. A lot of people feel that we're becoming a paperless society. I'm here to tell you that's not true.
You want some paper.
The more we try to get rid of paper, the more paper that we build up. So, you know, I work with a lot of associations, and a lot of associations tried to cut their budgets in the last 5 years with the down economy. And the easiest way for them to do it was to cut back on printing their magazine and make it a digital piece. A lot of the association members complained about that and said, no, we really want the printed piece.
Okay, now let me stop you for a second. Do you know why they complained? Did they tell you why the member complained? I'm just curious.
The members just liked holding that as opposed to a tablet or looking at it digitally. For some reason, the touch and feel and just holding the magazine and being able to read it and take it wherever they want to take it to, leave it out on the coffee table, whatever, was more helpful and more resourceful for them. So a lot of associations have even started increasing the quantity. Most of them didn't go away completely from printing the magazine, but and many of them now give their members a choice. Do you prefer digital or printed magazine? And but as far as printing in general, every business needs printing, whether it's business cards or letterhead or envelopes. And so the opportunities are always there. And you know what? It's just being personable, making relationships, and doing business with people that you like. And that's what has driven me to start my own company and to grow it to the point where it's grown to now. And I'm excited to do that in 2016 as well.
Okay, good. I just want to add a thing. I understand the factor of We get so much email today that if you want to get somebody, I don't think I'll read any. I know several company newspapers send me things online. I seldom read them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes some things can catch my attention, I'll read it, but otherwise I don't, because how can I say, that door or that outlet is so jammed that really if an association want to impart some information to people, there's just so much that nobody's going to sit there and read the newspaper from an association. You have that. There's also the fact I am personally believe in business card. And I remember some 5 years back, there was a chamber that would remain nameless. They came up with this concept where everybody has a little bit of a thing, and then they will, show it to another guy and then register all the information. It never worked out. Mm-mm. And I can't even imagine how it could work, because, maybe you could, or maybe 10, 20 years down the line, but having that card, access to it and so forth, it just seems a natural thing to me. Now, I may be old class or whatever you want to put it, but sometimes I meet people, do you have a business card? They say, no, I never carry a business card. That's a loose.
Do you do business with them afterwards?
No, of course. But that's a lost opportunity. It is a culture, it is a standard thing, pass your card, exchange information. If you don't give me my information, then I go home and I say, I want to call Tim. Where do I find information? Mm-hmm. You put him in a situation, I got to go and search and find Tim McCarthy, how many of those are, which one and whatever. I just do not find it. I'm not saying they are wrong, but I don't find it workable. If
you're like me, you get hundreds of emails a day, if not thousands maybe, but probably hundreds of emails a day. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to read all of them. Mm-hmm. Many of them wind up delete in the trash. Mm-hmm. So direct mail oftentimes does the same and may get thrown away, but percentages are much higher with businesses that are trying to reach the end user through direct mail. I spoke at an ASAE event, the American Society of Association Executives, last year in Leesburg, and I talked about where the printing industry was and where it was going, and I gave them some information about how it is more beneficial to do a direct mail campaign as opposed to an email campaign or a digital campaign. And the cost of gaining a new member was actually lower through direct mail than it was through email. So for them to try and get a new prospective member, they would spend more money if they did it through email.
Interesting. I got briefing once by a guy who was talking about sending out a postcard. He explained that in email they get or may not get it, but when they get a postcard, at least have at least 2 or 3 seconds where they take a look at it before they put it in the trash. But at least you do get their attention, you do get the message.
Absolutely. They look at it. It's oftentimes with email, you just see the header and you delete it, or whoever it's from, you delete it immediately. At least if it's a postcard, you're looking at it before it goes in the trash, and you may decide to keep it. One of the things about direct mail, and I'm glad you mentioned a postcard, is I've gotten very involved in doing with a program that's called Every Door Direct Mail. And it is a great way, especially for small businesses that are trying to attract customers from a tight geographic area to do a direct mail campaign. The benefit of it is the postage rate is so much cheaper than a normal postcard campaign. To do a standard postcard campaign.
Give that again to the audience. Say the name again for it.
Every Door Direct Mail.
Every Door Direct Mail.
Every Door Direct Mail.
All right.
Also known as EDDM.
EDDM.
Every Door Direct Mail. Okay. And the reason why is, the postage rates for a standard postcard is normally about 31 cents for standard pre-sorted mail. For first class, it's about 42 cents a piece. But for this EDDM, Every Door Direct Mail, it's only 18.3 cents a piece for the postage. The reason why is because it has to be delivered and bundled by the printer, and we bundle it and sort it into mailing trays, and deliver it to the final destination post office. So it never goes through any of the post office equipment, and they don't have to transport it from one post office to another.
Oh, I get
It's
it.
already delivered in a tray to the final carrier
Gotcha.
at that carrier's post office. So it takes out all of their headache and all their process. We're doing all the processing for them, and they just deliver one to each person on their route. Therefore, the postage is a lot more cost effective, and it allows businesses to be able to do direct mail and get seen a lot more cost effectively. And another neat thing too, I've partnered with a nonprofit group in Springfield called MVLE.
Oh, I know them.
And MVLE has a mailing department. So I get the postcards printed, I ship them directly to MVLE. They do all the processing for me. They're a nonprofit that helps people with disabilities and wounded veterans. And it's a great opportunity to help a nonprofit organization grow their outreach to people with disabilities. So it's been a great partnership for me, and I'm trying to increase the amount of every door direct mail campaigns I do to help send them more business and help them increase their bottom line for helping people with disabilities too. So it's been a great partnership for me.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Now, the question I have when you're talking is, how does one get the names? I mean, you may or may not know, but how does one get the names of the people to mail to in an area?
Well, with the Every Door Direct Mail campaign, it is a saturated mailing. So you don't need any names. It just goes to every
address in the place.
Every address on that postal route.
Got it.
So if you wanted to do a mailing to Fairfax, there's at least 70 postal routes in Fairfax. You can narrow it down, and the neat thing is you can even sort which postal routes have the highest average household income. So you can narrow it down to the wealthiest people in that zip code, or you can narrow it down geographically. I just did a mailing campaign for a roofing company that wanted to, up in Baltimore, that wanted to target people who were hit with hail damage and might need to have their roof replaced. So we geographically zoned in on where the damage was in that neighborhood, and we picked street by street which routes we wanted to deliver to. So it's a great way to cost effectively zone in. You can't pick and choose you want it to go to this person or that person.
Yes.
But we also do standard mailings where you can buy a mailing list and pick and choose which houses it goes to. You just have to pay the higher postage rates.
Makes sense.
We even work with associations too who might have their own mailing list and want to send out a campaign for members. I work with one association who has student members, and when they graduate medical school, they're trying to convert those student members into full memberships. And so we do a campaign where they send out a greeting card congratulating them on graduating medical school, a letter from the president, a brochure in there, a membership application, a return envelope, and a carrier envelope as well. And so all those pieces get personalized with the doctor's name on it.
Wow.
And they all have to get sorted in the proper envelope and mailed to the recipient. So we can do those multi-way match mailings as well with the person's name on each piece and mailed to that person as well.
Okay. Excellent. We have a few minutes left. What are the last words you'd like to leave with our fine audience here?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity and all the opportunities you've given me, not only at the breakfast and the exhibitor training, but at the expo coming up next Friday on November 7th. And thank you for the opportunity today. But I'd just like everyone to know that Silverado Printing is a company that's there for their printing needs. And if there's any way we can help them grow their business through marketing, we'd love to be able to help them and let them know what we can do for them.
Okay, good. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming. Folks, I just want to remind you, you can like us on Facebook at Fairfax Networking Breakfast Club. Fairfax Networking Breakfast Club, yes. And also check our next event at ULT, the Expo, ULTBIZ Expo.com. We meet once a month in Fairfax at Best Western of Fairfax, generally the third Thursday of the month. Join us there at Breakfast Club. He talked to you about it. He liked it, so I'm sure you will also.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, I must add that we also offer a training for networking. That's the new chapter we have. You can find the data on that at blnbc.com. We thank you very much for tuning. We are on Cox Channel 10 on Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and Wednesday right after midnight, and on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Again, like us at Fairfax Networking Breakfast Club.com. Thank you very much for coming. Looking forward to seeing you again. Have a productive night. Bye-bye.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.